So just before we get into the video, I just want to give a big shout out to Tom Buckley up at Oldham Engine Parts. So what people don't know is when I had the failure with the piston to valve clash issue, and it smashed the heads to pieces. Obviously Graham did the pistons for me, but the heads were in a right state. And I think I put a post on Facebook saying I don't know what I'm going to do, etc, etc. I've got a spare pair of standard heads, but they'd need modifying anyway to put the cams in because they're bigger. They have to be scalloped out, which is something that Alex did at the car kitchen when he first did the heads for me. Tom reached out and he just said, look, get the heads to me and we'll sort it. So massive shout out to him. Really looked after me. He recut all the valve seats. Well, got, I think, Adam Beard at Twin Engine Corsa welded the heads up for me. New guides, seals, everything. Really looked after me. So really can't thank him enough, because it was at that point it's like twist or bust. You know, when someone reaches out to you and gives you a bit of enthusiasm to get it sorted, it really made a difference. So yeah, big shout out to Tom, and obviously works in sort of partnership-ish with Beardy one way or the other, looks after Beardy's engines, cars, all that sort of stuff. The head's since gone back up to him a couple of times for repairs one way or the other, including when I blew the core plugs out, and Beardy welded them up for me basically to avoid that problem ever happening in the future. So yeah, just a big shout out to Tom, and shout out to Beardy as well. Cheers, gents. So if anyone does need any engine work doing, be sure to give the guys up at Oldham Engine Parts a shout. They've got quite a range of tooling in there that can do a wide range of sort of machine work on engines. They are cylinder head specialists. They do cater for, you know, standard engines, etc. I think they do a lot of work for local taxi firms in and around the area. So yeah, if you've got any needing machinery or engine work, give the guys a shout. Cheers. So second video. The first one's done okay. To be fair, I'm quite shocked for what it is, but yeah, I'm quite pleased. So second video will be based on winter upgrades, so various things that I've done so far. To be fair, I got sorted really quick, because obviously the car did 9.6, then I went out again, a couple of runs at Flaming Thunder, weather wasn't great, knew exactly what I needed to do, car's still running, everything's still, you know, okay testing wise. So yeah, sort of 3, 4 of it I've took on another one, which I'm going to do in another video once that's all sorted, which I think that'll cause a bit of excitement. I'm quite excited to get that one all fitted up and hopefully working, and then I'll do a video on it. But yeah, it's going to upset some people, I think, one way or the other. But it's all fun and games, isn't it? So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. So what have I done so far? So big one was injectors. They're all fitted up, etc. Shame I didn't start all this malarkey beforehand. I could have showed you how it all comes apart and how much of a pain in the arse sometimes working on the V6 is, with the bloody three parts of the inlet manifold, and you know, everything sits in the middle of the V. It's all quite interesting. So yeah, but yeah, so change injectors, moved up to a 1650cc. I was looking at the 2000cc Bosch ones, but obviously they're the gas injector ones, and I didn't really want to change fuel, so I run the VPC 85. I wanted to stay with that, albeit, you know, the price wise it is pretty expensive now in the UK. So yeah, so I've got some data on why I changed, or why I wanted to change the injectors, so I'll pull that up shortly. Then obviously I changed the cups, the drive flanges, which I explained on the last video. I'll just run a bit more deeper into that and show you them. What else have I got? I'm just thinking what else I've done. Oh yeah, changed the top mounts, didn't I, on the front suspension? Because when you it wasn't so much when it was on the floor, but when you jacked the car up, you could literally move them crazy, the amount of play that was in them. I don't know if it's much of they were worn, it's just a sort of Corsa type thing, but obviously when you chuck in 700-800 horsepower through them, they're not great. They're going to move a little bit, and obviously any kind of movement sort of when you're putting the tyres in is going to break stuff. So yeah, I've fitted a set of R&D solid pillow ball, I think they call them, top mounts. I think a lot of the Vauxhall Z-Let guys, they run them, especially more so on the sort of Mark IV Astras and the VXRs. So yeah, I've already fitted a set of them. I think I put a picture up before, but I'll run through them briefly. Yeah, and then like I say, get those three things sorted. I'm going to start the car up and get it all up to temperature and running. Hopefully the fueling will be okay. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what it's like moving up from a 1300 to a 1650. Yeah, from a sort of idling point of view, and it's not black smoking or over fueling or anything really bad, till I can get it onto the dyno and Gordon can sort of straighten it out for me, etc. So yeah, let's get into the video. So the ideal set of injectors for me would have been the Fuel-Tech ones. I think the 200 and something pound ones, and they would have flowed about 2,500 cc. Brilliant, that's all I need, done and dusted. But unfortunately at this moment in time I've had to be realistic with funds, etc, with everything else I'm trying to do with the car. So what I did was I reached out to Mr. Ian Pepper, the Cant, and asked him to price me up a set of his 1650cc ones, which I know obviously are okay with the MTBE, etc. So he sorted them out for me. They're the unmodified ones, so they haven't got like the as new bits on, which changes the spray pattern, so they just give a bit of a blast. Because I felt like I don't need to go up too much, obviously. So a 1650 will be a nice little increase for me, which should just bring the duty down enough to be where I want it to be. So I managed to sell on my old injectors, which obviously brought the cost down even more for the new injectors off Pepper. And yeah, one of the things that we noticed was between the 1300s and the 1650s was the size of the injector. So obviously you run the adapters top and bottom. The top's got the filter in, the bottom hasn't. And I managed to get some of them off speeding parts. But yeah, so if you look at these ones, the actual nozzle doesn't protrude, shall we say, which I've done hopefully a bit of research, and there shouldn't really be a big issue with that. So yeah. So as I've just mentioned, one of the upgrades over winter was the injectors. So I've always run the 1300cc injectors, Bosch Motorsport ones, but we knew that we were quite close as we were going up the boost to the top end of the duty cycle. My understanding is, I'm no expert on this at all, that 85%'s where you want to be, not really a lot more than that. Obviously if you can get it down lower, then great. So as it came off the dyno, when it was on the dyno, Gordon did mention that there wasn't a lot of injector left. So it was always something in the back of my mind that I was wanting to look at some point, but obviously over winter this year is the point where I'm going to obviously change, which I have done up to the 1650s. So based on the data that I've got in front of me, as you can see, blue is fuel pressure, red is duty, and green is map. So if we look at the top end of fourth, we're at what, 89, let's say 90% duty, which people know what I'm like. I start getting worried at that point that I'm over that 85%. I think it's the tism kicking in one way or the other. So yeah, I'm only at 20 psi there boost pressure. So obviously fuel pressure is sort of where it wants to be. Standard 45 psi, obviously rising rate with the vacuum of the turbo map, whatever you want to call it. So what I did was we actually cranked it up. I think I put the base fuel pressure at about 60 psi, as it says there. It was, yeah, 60 psi, and changed it. So as you can see, again, this graph's a bit more messy, should we say. So what I did was put that to 60. On this run, I think I got up to 27 psi, yeah, 27-ish psi. Shit run. We gave it a bit more boost and didn't really do anything because the run was shit. So yeah, and looking at that, we'd actually put the base fuel up to 60, so I was up to 83 psi. and the duty cycle went to 105. So obviously at this point I'm even more flapping, shall we say. So yeah, there's the data basically of why I wanted to bring it back down. So we even put the base up, but as the boost was going up, so was the duty cycle with it. It's obviously it's giving me all the indications there that there's not enough injector. So yeah, there's your data for changing up. So I'm thinking one of the questions people are thinking are, why is he changing the wheel cylinder? Why is he bleeding the brakes? And this is said reason. Because I'm now DSG, I don't need the hydraulic handbrake anymore, because I launch on 2 pedal, obviously on the brake pedal flat out, because the fuel tech wants a brake switch signal. And yeah, the hydro handbrake's just redundant. I've still got the cable one, so that will help me on the hills, and you know, even if I need it in the burnout, blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's it. Happy days. So what I also thought I'd mention is, so I've fitted these. Oh, look at the paint on them, beauty. The Toyota MR2 Roadster rear wheels. Basically what I was doing was I was looking on eBay for a cheap set of wheels, and these came up with 4 tyres, Toyo Proxies, for 100 quid, right by my work. So I went and picked them up. I was like, oh yeah, great, sweet, they'll fit straight on. Obviously I knew the centre board would probably need scalloping out a little bit, yeah. But then when I got it back, the wheel nuts and how the actual wheels bolt on is totally different. So I'll show you real quick. If I'll just bite this off. So these Toyotas, which many probably already know, which I didn't. That's the wheel nut off one, and they bolt on totally different to how any other nut that I've seen. Yeah, so long story short, it now has a stud and nut conversion on the back, and yeah, away we go. So as I've said, one of the things I wanted to do over the winter was to upgrade the drive shaft, cup, flange things, whatever you call them, on the DSG gearbox, because as mentioned previously, when I went on to the 26s, they literally the first launch, it sheared the passenger side one off. I had like I say, people say they've broken them before, etc, etc. So obviously when I was at Pod, I was up shit creek a little bit, because it was like I haven't got spare at all. I have now got spares. I bought 3 boxes with mechatronic and clutch issues supposedly, so mechanicals, they're all right. So luckily Dean Hyman had a spare off a 02M, 02Q, I think it is. I'm not quite sure with the manual boxes, the full on code names on. I think it's those 2, which we could try. However, there was some differences, and I'll show you them now. So the one on the left is the 02M 02Q, and the one on the right is the DSG. The problem we got at Pod was that I'd sheared this bit clean off, so putting it next to each other was a bit, you know, it wouldn't really tell me anything as such. And to be honest, I don't think I overly noticed how different they were. However, I put it in, and it bolted up, etc. sound. So the first obvious difference was the bolt. This is the DSG one, obviously, and this is the 02M 02Q one. And what we found was the actual, where the bolt sits in there, if you see, there's a bit of a recess. And obviously it uses a longer, see that step in there, it uses the longer bolt to go through, whereas the DSG one sits, you probably might just about be able to make it out, it sits all the way in there and then pokes out right at the end. Luckily Dean had got the bolt with him, so he lent me that as well. Now if you're looking at this, there does look an obvious difference in sort of to the point where the splines would sit in the gearbox. But what you've got to sort of imagine is that, let's put this back a bit, that would be, trying to hold the camera straight, about there-ish. I mean, we're doing this really rough. And when I put a flat edge across it, there's about a 2mm difference from the point of sort of that step there where it actually fits into the gearbox, and obviously the end there. So I've obviously started doing all this YouTube malarkey after I'd fitted the cups in, so they're in the box now. I'll just switch that really quick. So as I say, they're in the box. They don't look any differences at all, to be honest. Like, obviously that's the driver's side one, and if I can I get in? No, I can't really get in to see the passenger side one. And this wasn't really something that I'd anticipated I was going to be breaking. One of the whole sole reasons for moving to DSG was for you know, the fact of it being stronger. The drive shafts would be custom stronger. Obviously the stronger Volkswagen CVs, etc, etc. So when I snapped this, I was like, oh shit, what have I done? You know, back to that sort of drawing board. But hopefully now with these cups in, I mean, I don't know the full strengths of them, but I know people running, well, got to be upwards of 900 horse with them, so it should be okay. So actually how you fit them, I mean, like I say, benches moving. They come like that. When I was at Pod, I had to borrow a long reach socket off Graham, but I've just got, get the camera, it's like a, what is it, a T40, is it? Yeah, it's a 40, just with a bit of long reach on them. Basically, as long as it goes in the splines. These, like, I couldn't believe how, as in, how loose they were. So let's see if I can get this one undone. I'll do the old whack trick, see if it works. Yep. That's literally how sort of tight they are in there. They're next to nothing. Obviously that being the DSG one, it's the small one. They are sort of spring loaded, as you'll see on them ones as they come out. Yeah, you've got this, obviously that's the driver's side, so it's, yeah, driver's side. So it's a lot longer, should we say, than and that one. And yeah, they've got this spring loaded thing, and obviously like a dust seal for the actual seal in there, sort of thing. So yeah, but like I say, brilliant ones are in, all good to go. Hopefully they'll be all right. Obviously, going back to that, I should have really said, what I'm hoping is, well, I know what should happen is the CV joint should take up that 2mm play, because you've always got a bit of throw on the CV joints, etc. Especially the Volkswagen ones. The inner ones anyway, you've got quite a bit of movement with them with the ball bearings. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'll report back when we know more. So the near enough last part, or last part that I'm going to show on this video, was to fit these R&D solid top mounts. They're a bit of a strange design, so they're in two-piece and you have to put one piece underneath and one piece on the top, and then you sort of screw it together using grub screws, but they've been widely used for a while now in the Vauxhall world, so hopefully they should be okay. So engine's all running. The idle map's a bit out. Obviously the injectors are not fully dialed in yet, so I have had a quick play myself, just got it up to I don't know, 0.85 lambda, but I'm just going to leave it there now. Don't really want to mess with it too much. I'll let Gordon do his thing with it. So yeah, sign this one off. I'm going to obviously do some more videos, and I think when my new package arrives, should we say, that'll be the next video I do. I'm probably going to throw some in there about DSG conversions, and how you wire them in with the can and all that sort of stuff. The other one I might do is I've got a battery cut-off switch that I've done using the BMW solenoid. I think a lot of people are doing it now, but I might just do a quick how-to on that as well. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of jazz, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.